Explain how many tons of salt you have to pack up to the mountain for the sheep, cows, all the critters, and what kind of salt you feed.
We put out quite a bit of white block salt. Salt seems to...
They're about 50-pound blocks.
50-pound blocks, solid blocks. And we put, probably 6 to 8 ton a year out for the livestock. And one of the reasons is if they eat a lot of salt, they drink a lot of water, and they eat more, and they gain more weight, and that's what we sell is weight. So that's the reason. And then I think they really do require salt, because if you don't put out salt, they will eat quite a bit of soil that has salt in it, like the alkali type soil. So it is I think it's a requirement. And I think they get a lot of the mineral out of the dirt up in our country, because we don't actually feed much mineral to them.
And how many acres do you think our cattle are able to free-range graze? Because they're turned loose on the mountain, in the Badlands, and they're free-ranging.
Dan?
Probably, last shot,
Well,
thousands and thousands of acres.
yeah, it takes, where you got a real dry, we're lucky to get 6 to 10 inches a year of moisture a year, and that can be snow, rain, and whatever. And so it takes a lot of acres, because a lot of our country has rocks and canyons and sagebrush, of course, which actually takes away some of the ground that could be grazed, because the sagebrush is thick. And so we do have a program that we try to get rid of some of the brush every year.
Yeah, and that could also lead to the whole water system, how you've improved the land with putting water where there wasn't water before, making reservoirs or ponds all by a gravity flow pipeline.
Right.
And it was extensive, many years' work, and probably 25 water ponds or reservoirs on land that didn't have water before, all hand done.
Yeah, it's been a real benefit for our range, because the cattle don't have to walk miles back to the water source. We can distribute the water on areas so that the cattle just are more content with water nearby, and they just don't have to use all their energy walking back and forth to the water.
And the pipes come from natural springs, so it's just gravity flow. The inlets have a little screen, so it doesn't get a lot of sediment and weeds and things, and which asks another maintenance thing that has to be cleaned out periodically and checked. And so it's all in valve system that only Dad knows. And Dad and brothers know where all these valves are and how many reservoirs you can fill at one time, or two reservoirs at a time. And out of 25, that's a lot to keep track of, but it's
a constant job to try to keep your reservoirs with water, and also the reservoirs are small enough so that cows don't have too good of an idea about drinking water. They go out into a reservoir or pond and they get a drink, and then they seem to want to, before they leave, they want to poop or pee in it. I don't know why, but they do. So the next cow goes out a little further, because it's a little green around this edge, so she goes out further.
pressure.
So they do contaminate the water, but then if you keep your reservoirs flowing, and some of that residue or manure and so forth drains off of the reservoir, so they got mostly fresh water most of the time. But a lot of the pipelines with a screen on are laid right in a creek bed, but everything is designed so that it has lots of fall. What I mean is that on the lower end of those pipelines, it's lower than the inlet, then the water will flow. Every rise will put a vent so that the air that's coming up from both sides won't airlock, and your water won't run it, but airlocks. So you put a vent to let the air out, and that's really been beneficial for the process of the water system.